All right. The next movie on our list, Mission Impossible 2. I'm so excited to talk about this freaking movie with you guys. Jude, take it away.
2000, Mission Impossible 2, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours, 3 minutes. This had a budget of $125 million. What do you think this brought in, gentlemen? Starting with V.
What was the first movie? 460?
Mm-hmm. Roughly. 457, I think.
I don't think 395.
Okay, Alex.
280.
$546 million. John Woo, motherfuckers.
Yeah, but it explains why there's freaking 7 of these movies.
This is John Woo's highest grossing film.
Yeah.
You ready?
It's terrible. Go ahead.
How dare you? This is the best one.
You're crazy. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Tom Cruise was enjoying a slow-motion rock climbing holiday when he was interrupted with a new mission, which he needs Tandy Newton for. So he zips on over to Spain for some slow-motion flamenco dancing when the object of his desire walks across the room in slow motion. She's there to steal a necklace, and Tom Cruise assumes it's her skill as a thief that's needed for the operation. But actually, it's her vagina. Anthony Hopkins needs her to re-seduce her old boyfriend, Dougray Scott, who's been impersonating Tom Cruise and stole the antidote to the deadly chimera virus. IMF needs to get the antidote out of his doppelganging hands, and nothing can separate a man from his ill-gotten antidote, quite like the pussy who got away. Tandy and Tom are torn. Sure, they want world peace and freedom from the chimera virus and all of that, but they were like really into each other. So what can be the solution? 2 things, said John Woo. Doves and more slow motion. Discuss.
God damn right.
Amazing. Fucking amazing.
This is the best one of these.
Fuck
movies.
It's
This
so
is
good.
out of here.
so fucking good.
It's
This is
15 minutes long.
Oh God, it's so
but
good.
it's
I
all
love it.
slow motion.
You know, remember when I said I was bored during the first one?
You're not bored. You're
I watched this entire movie in one sitting, didn't look at my phone a single time.
Amen, brother.
And I'm just
Amen,
like,
brother.
holy shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
So much fun.
It
I've never
is-
seen this before. I've
Yeah.
never seen any other than the first one. This was the first watch, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, shit.
It's
John
very
Woo.
sexual.
Get the hell
Yeah.
out of here. Gunfights, slow motion.
Dude, yeah.
This
Doves.
is the worst Mission Impossible
This
movie.
was like a 2-hour-long heavy metal music video. It was amazing. I
Yes.
loved it. I absolutely love this movie.
No, dude, it's just Hong Kong cinema.
Yeah, that's what's good about it. Okay.
It's the worst movie though.
It's John
It's so
Woo.
stupid. Everybody is an idiot
dude,
in this movie.
You're on crack.
The slow
dude.
motion is ridiculous.
It's so
The
much fun.
fight scenes are ridiculous.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's exactly everything you're saying is correct.
Yeah, but you're using the
But
wrong tone.
Yeah, wrong tone.
It's so dumb.
I love it when this side of the
It's
table.
so
is-
stupid.
You know what, Alex? It's so dumb. Is how you should have said that. Is how you should have said that.
No, I
It's
can't.
so much fun.
I can't get on
First
board
of all,
with you guys.
It opens up with him
Okay.
actually
Oh,
climbing
God.
a mountain.
That shit's
Oh,
legit.
Yeah.
That made me sweat. When he's sitting there hanging wrong by his fucking
His two little
pinky,
fingers.
his little pinky toe, 2 miles above the ground. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Tom Cruise really did that shit.
He was
And
like,
I'm
you
like
know what?
freaking out.
That fish tank thing from the
Oh,
last
man.
movie, that got me hard. I need a mountain. I need a fucking mountain.
I have anxiety
He's
watching
gonna
the
free
opening of
solo
this.
up in Utah somewhere and film that
scene
shit.
where he's hanging by his knees.
Yeah.
That freaks me out,
He
dude.
was like, I haven't had an orgasm since we filmed the last movie. This is the only way I can get shit accomplished.
And then-
I need to fly across a
then he-
mountain horizontally.
Yeah, but he jumps and hits a little pinky-sized ledge. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on?
We haven't even gotten to the title
I
screen
know,
yet.
and I've already jacked all over the screen already, dude. It was incredible. It was just, it was like, what just happened?
His
It
fucking
was-
hair's blowing
I know,
in that
dude.
mountain
Dude,
wind.
okay.
Looking good, my friend.
Tom Cruise's hair is its own character in this fucking movie.
100%.
It's its own entity. It's like
First of all, that is a woman's hairstyle for the 90s, but it works,
Works on Tom
him.
Cruise.
2006, Tom Cruise was like,
Look
I
at-
bet I can pull that shit
Whoa.
off. And you know what? He
Jesus.
can.
Yeah, dude, it was just, yeah, this is a great movie. It's my favorite movie.
No, you're crazy.
Absolutely,
it's not a great movie. It's fun.
No, you're wrong.
It is an
Wrong.
absolute blast.
Nope.
But it's terrible.
No,
This
you're
is
wrong.
a goddamn classic. How dare you?
You're crazy. Kadish, settle the score. Is it
I'm
terrible
with
or
Alex on this one.
okay?
No, so
Like I have so many mixed emotions about this movie because number one, I love John Woo. It's a John Woo movie.
Number 2, you're wrong.
Number two, I love Tom Cruise. This is a Tom Cruise movie. The action in this movie is great, but the story is ridiculously stupid.
Okay,
So-
the story is ridiculously stupid. That's how you should say that.
you gotta have more
You should have said
enthusiasm.
that.
So like the script for this movie didn't come together until like a week before they started shooting in Australia. So it was just all over the place. The story behind the making of this movie is kind of interesting because so first of all, John Woo, he was coming off the success of Face Off, and like this was kind of like in the era where Hollywood was trying to bring John Woo into the fold, and he was like coming off of major successes in Hong Kong, and he was like the godfather of action movies. And this movie, so originally, like him and Tom Cruise butted heads because John Woo did not want Tom Cruise doing his own stunts because he's like, dude, you're gonna die. He's like, I don't want to be the director who got Tom Cruise killed.
Yeah.
And so like plus John Woo was afraid of heights, so this opening sequence where he's climbing the mountains and doing like the freehand climbing. Tom Cruise was so first of all, Tom Cruise lied to the insurance company saying he wasn't doing his own stunts when he was going to do them, and that was the only way they could actually get insured for the movie. So like Tom Cruise insisted on doing all of his own stunts on this movie. And John Woo, coming from Hong Kong, he had his own like stunt team and all this stuff. And Tom Cruise just kind of inserted himself into that. And in this scene where like he's like, free climbing this cliff, John Woo was like at the bottom of the canyon with like his like little like, studio, like monitor studio, and he's afraid of heights, so he wasn't up there, and he's just sitting there. He's like, Tom Cruise is going to die.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is going to die.
You watch it and you think he's gonna die.
Tom Cruise is William Shatnering this movie. Just
It
at the
doesn't have
beginning.
any boots to save him though.
I know.
It's an incredible scene. I will get the opening.
He's trying to one-up Shatner, and
Yeah.
Shatner's pissed.
The opening scene for this movie is incredible. I will
But
give you guys that.
I mean, like Tom Cruise did all of his own motorcycle riding. In fact, there's a scene where like he drives through like this like fire wreck, like a car that was on fire and stuff.
I want that poster on the
And
wall.
he didn't wear any kind of like flame retardant gel or any kind of protection. He actually just drove through the fire. And Tom Cruise, or like John Woo, the entire time he's just like, Tom, you can't do this stunt. And Tom's like, watch me.
I'm gonna do it.
And
It's fine. It's like passing your hand over a candle.
Yeah,
You'll be
it
all
was no
right.
big deal.
And like Tom Cruise probably thought like, I'm doing this for John Woo because I know how I feel when I'm in a situation that might kill me. And John Woo at the end of it was like, I'm never working with you again.
well, here's the interesting thing about having John Woo direct this movie. So basically, John Woo, he didn't speak English, right? So like this entire movie, he was like basically busy planning the action scenes, and Tom Cruise basically co-directed this film. So anything having to do with the actors and stuff like that, it was Tom Cruise who would work with the writers and things of that nature. And John Woo was basically just there to film the action. And when the filming was over, John Woo went to edit the movie, and his original cut of the movie was 3.5 hours long. And it had a lot more in-depth stuff about like the espionage and the storylines, and it was a hard R. Like there was like a lot of gore, a lot of like blood, because it's John Woo.
Jeez, I want to see that.
I want to see that cut
Right?
too.
Yeah.
I want the John Woo cut. But the studio was like, we can't release an R-rated 3.5 hour Mission Impossible movie. And so basically Tom Cruise locked John Woo out of the editing bay, took over the movie, cut it down to 2 hours and made it PG-13. And it created a lot of like kind of plot holes, and it wasn't as cool because there wasn't as much blood and bullet hits and stuff like that. So the final version of this that we watched, this is Tom Cruise's cut of the film.
The Tom Cruise cut.
Oh God, Tom Cruise cut sucks.
Yeah, to meet Paramount's mandates of what they wanted in this movie.
As much as I like this, I really want to see that version. It's
Yeah.
probably epic.
Yeah,
It probably is.
And Nicole Kidman got her cast in this movie. This was Tandy Newton's first big film. She had done a film with Nicole Kidman called Flirting before this, and basically she convinced Tom Cruise to cast Tandy in this role, and this was like her first big break. And Tandy Newton hated working with Tom Cruise.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
like she came out later on and talked about like how intense he was. Because he was so stressed on not only like acting in the movie, but having to like co-direct it because John Woo just didn't speak English. And so John Woo never really worked with her. He was just kind of there like telling them where to put the cameras.
So she had no support.
Yeah, yeah. And Tom Cruise was like so like stressed out and intense. Like there's a scene where they're on a balcony in, I want to say Spain or something like that. And they're supposed to have like this back and forth exchange. And she said the first time they shot it, Tom Cruise was so stressed out, like the dialogue was terrible and nothing was jiving. And he actually had a zit growing on his nose from stress. She was like, I've never seen a whitehead form in real time before until this scene. And he was making her do like these things where like, he was like, okay, you do my lines and I'll do your lines and we'll pretend to be each other's characters and that'll loosen us up and stuff like that. And she was like, it was just so awkward and terrible.
Yeah.
And they had to go back and reshoot that scene because it was just so bad. And she was just like, you know, like I was a young actress and I didn't really have a lot of experience in working with Tom. Like he's a good guy and his heart's in the right place, but he was just so hard to work with because he's so intense.
Oh man, I can.
She's freaking gorgeous.
I've heard that from other actors. I think about working with Tom Cruise and
Yeah,
other
that's
movies.
why I don't want to hang out with him.
Yeah, he seems like he'd be super intense dude.
Not that he's asking, but I don't want to hang out.
But you know, Tandy Newton.
She's gorgeous.
She's got a very unique look
This is
to her.
the most beautiful I think I've ever seen her.
Yeah, she looks amazing.
She's also
amazingly
super
hot.
young in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh wait, isn't that the chick from Star Wars Rogue One or something? Yeah. Or no, Solo. She was in Solo.
Yeah, she was also in Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld.
Yeah.
Westworld and Chronicles of Riddick.
And she's so intense in Westworld that her character is so intense that you almost forget how beautiful she is. But in this, she's just so pretty.
I just watched her in this movie called All the Old Knives with Chris Pine.
Oh yeah,
that's
And
good.
It was really good, and she was really good in it.
So I'm going to talk some shit about this movie. I'm going to deflate you guys a little
No,
bit.
you're not.
Okay.
You can't. 'Cause I
Okay,
love
so
this
look,
movie.
dude,
Good
like
luck.
the slow-mo in this beginning part with the
It's amazing.
dancers,
I agree.
it's great. It's really, really great. It's way too freaking long. It's like 15 minutes of them just like looking at each other across with like red
That's
shit
John
in the camera.
Woo, though. That's,
Yeah.
that's
No,
straight up John Woo.
100%.
That's probably more
100%.
like 90 seconds.
I'm upset at the lack of doves in this movie.
We'll get to the
Oh,
doves in a
yeah.
minute. The doves are a plot point in this movie.
love
They
it.
literally progress the plot.
Actually, there's only one dove in the movie. The rest were pigeons.
God damn it,
the
John
white
Woo.
dove.
Shut the fuck up, kids. Don't you fucking ruin this for
So
me.
so they go through this whole little like fake stealing of the necklace or whatever, and he's like, oh, I was actually the freaking security guard here or whatever, and he pushes the button and the alarm
Joke's
goes off.
on you,
Yeah,
dumb
joke's on
bitch.
you.
I thought that was very clever.
It's so stupid. Anyway, so they go as she leaves and she's like, I'm not working with you. You're a freaking jerk. And she like buzzes off and he's like, haha, I'm smiling like an idiot the whole time. And they're driving and he calls her cell phone. He's like, how do you have this number? I don't even have this number. I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Car phone.
Whatever, that doesn't make any
She
sense.
stole the car.
So stupid. Doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
There's no setup for that. That
It's
doesn't.
so
She
stupid.
never.
It's
How do you
how
know?
you should say this.
Nobody said she stole that car.
You say that with more enthusiasm
It's
in your
not her
voice.
car.
Yeah,
Anyway,
your tone's all
so
wrong.
they're going through this little back and forth, and it's very much just a ripoff of the freaking scene with Famke and Pierce Brosnan from that other James Bond movie, GoldenEye, where they're chasing each other on the street.
That makes me like it even more.
Same freaking thing.
Except this was better.
No, and
I mean, the slow motion car spinning.
that
Oh,
was
it's
so
amazing.
terrible.
I love it.
It was so stupid. And then they crash, and her car is like hanging off the cliff. She falls out of the car because she's not wearing a seatbelt. She's hanging there off the freaking thing. He grabs her, they pull up, and then they proceed to have a makeout session on the
Oh, yeah.
edge of the cliff while the car
Which
is.
is what you do.
Yeah. Because you're all horned up from all the adrenaline running around.
Adrenaline, baby.
Get off the cliff. Just get in the other car.
Listen, man.
Alex,
When you
Have you
when
never had
listen,
sex before? Because
Listen.
this is how you're supposed to do it.
when you watch a John Woo movie, you have to mentally prepare yourself that it's a John Woo movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You're watched it all wrong.
The best line.
Agree.
You guys are
That was rough. I hit his fist really hard. I hurt myself a little bit.
We'll do it lighter. There you go.
the best line in this movie, and possibly the best line ever spoken by Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yes.
I believe.
Is this the one about her vagina?
Dude,
Fuck you.
when he's like,
Fuck
no,
you
no, no, no,
100%.
this is amazing. He goes like, he's like, are you going to have a hard time convincing her to go back with her old boyfriend? And he's like, yes, it's going to be very difficult. And he's like, well, this is not Mission Difficult. This is Mission Impossible. He's like, she's not trained for this kind of shit. And he stops mid freaking thing. He goes, what? To sleep with a man and lie to him? She's a woman. She's got all the training she needs.
That line was epic.
Yes. Fucking yes.
And he delivered it so
Delivered
well.
it with a shit-eating grin on his face.
She's got no training for this kind of thing.
But to go to bed with a man and lie to him, she's a woman. She's got all the training she needs.
It's fucking Anthony Hopkins, man.
To sleep with a man and lie to him. She's got all the training she needs.
She's a woman.
She's like,
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Glorious.
But this is the only time in the entire series that they use the word Mission Impossible in the titular line.
That's all right. I like it.
Made me cry.
It's not mission difficult, Mr. Hunt. It's Mission Impossible.
Little fourth wall. I like it.
I love Anthony
So
Hopkins.
originally, Sir Ian McKellen was supposed to play that role, and he turned it down. And it's a good thing he did because
For feminism.
this movie, so it had overruns, right? In fact, Tom Cruise eventually had to like pay out of pocket to finish the movie because of all the overruns that they had. And because it dragged on, basically Dougray Scott was originally cast as Wolverine in X-Men. And he was not able to fulfill that role because of this movie. And so they had to go with their second choice, which was Hugh Jackman.
Oh my
for that
God, is
film.
he so pissed?
And then Sir Ian McKellen, if he had taken this role, he wouldn't have been able to, number one, do Magneto, but number two, he also wouldn't have been able to do Lord of the Rings. So it was very fortuitous that he turned down this role. And actually, Tandy Newton was originally supposed to be in the Charlie's Angels reboot, with Cameron Diaz and stuff like that. And it was because of this movie she had to drop out because, she was still contractually obligated to finish this film.
That's funny because like the first movie that we talked about earlier was giving me a lot of the Charlie's Angels vibes with the whole like, this is the team member that does this, and this is the team member that does this. And it was very nostalgic for me in that way.
There was a scene that later on in the movie where they go to the horse races. So it's after she's infiltrated the bad guy's hub. She's pretending to be
She went back to her boyfriend.
She went back to her boyfriend, whatever.
He infiltrated her.
Okay. Another sensual scene, that freaking whole dress thing. Like, I bought this for you. I wanted to see if I still remembered your size. And then she's like,
all bad people, all evil genius guys,
super horny.
have dresses in their closet for when a woman.
Can we talk about how much of a dick he is to his right-hand man? Like, if there's anybody you're not going to be a dick to, it's your right-hand man.
Why are you loyal to him now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, the right-hand man, the blonde dude in the movie, was like asking a very obvious question. Like, hey, bro, your ex-girlfriend came back after 6 months of leaving you.
It's very convenient.
This might be a little bit awkward and convenient. Maybe she's working for the bad guys, according to their perspective.
And he's right.
And he's 100% right. And the dude's like, no, fuck you. She wants me and I'm going to use her. And he clips his freaking pinky off with the cigar clipper.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Oh, what a dick.
There's several moments in this movie that make me nervous and cringe, and I think that's just good. It's the height, anything having to do with height, and cliffs and driving along the edge of them or hanging from your knees from them.
Yeah. Vader hates.
I am terrified of heights.
He hates not being able to feel the earth underneath his
that's
feet.
just true. Yeah. I need something solid underneath my feet. I don't like Ferris
hates the
wheels.
ocean. Hates cliffs.
Too deep. It's too deep. If I can't see the bottom, I'm not going. I don't like lakes. I don't like oceans.
Okay.
I like clear blue chlorinated water that I can see the bottom of.
Okay.
I know all of your fears.
I'm not joking, man.
Anyway.
It freaks me out. And if a movie can make me freak out, literally like start sweating from my phobias, that's doing a good job.
Okay. All right.
I think my biggest problem with this movie is like the first half of this movie is not John Woo to me. It's the second half of this movie where basically like Tom Cruise just goes full like Chow Yun Fat. But the funniest thing is like when Tom Cruise is infiltrating the underground base where they're having like the Chimera deal with Brendan Gleeson. There's a scene where like he just like rolls for no reason before like he gets to like the great.
It's in his contract. contract. He has to.
And it reminded me of that episode of Eureka, Purple Rain, that we talked about, where Fargo just rolls for no reason because he's like infiltrating a farm.
And also on Showtime, where De Niro's like, real cops don't do that.
Shatner rolls for no reason. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a fake roll or Galaxy Quest when,
Do you guys remember when we were talking about Hard Target, which was John Woo's first American film with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Mm-hmm.
Van Damme kept insisting that he have a camera dedicated to just filming close-ups of his muscles.
Right.
Yeah. And I just think like Tom Cruise must have had the same demand for his hair in this movie.
Yes.
I need a camera for my hair.
It has its own character in this movie.
It
It's Tom
really
Cruise's
does.
hair,
It
slow
really
motion
does.
hair.
It got me.
Anyway, from the Mandalorian. So the scene at the horse races, they're going there. They're trying to figure out what the bad guy wants, what he's dealing with, and they've got John C. What's his name? Not John C. Riley. The pharmaceutical guy.
Brendan Gleeson.
Why did I think John C. Riley?
Because he's in the next movie.
Anyway,
He's not in the next
no,
one.
he's not. Brendan Gleeson is there, and they're doing this like a little back and forth deal, and Ethan Hunt's there with the binoculars. They've got Vig Rhames in the van, and then they've got the Australian dude who's like also a lookout or whatever. And the deal transpires. He takes the envelope and he puts it in his left jacket pocket. This is the most ridiculous freaking scene maybe in the entire movie.
Why?
Because he's like, it drove me freaking crazy every time I watched this movie this week. But he's sitting there and goes, he just put something in his left jacket pocket, and Ethan Hunt goes, confirmed, left jacket pocket. And the other guy goes, confirmed, left jacket pocket. And then the chick, I can't remember her name either. The chick goes, she's sitting there. She can hear all of this.
Tandy Newton.
Tandy Newton. She can hear. She's on the same radio channel as everybody else. And Tom Cruise goes, okay, listen, I need you to get something out of. And she cuts him off and goes, his left jacket pocket. And everybody goes, whoa, she's such a good spy. And I'm like, you just fucking said it 3 times.
She really is trained for this.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I don't know why
This
you have
is so stupid.
What is such a problem with that?
It's dumb.
It's not dumb. It's good. It's good setup, payoff.
There's also the fact that he basically had a decoy in his left jacket pocket. The real one was in his right jacket pocket.
No, what happened? No, this is what happened. So she went and pickpocketed it out of his left jacket pocket.
Put it in his
goes and gives it to Tom Cruise, who Vig Rhames has to run from the van to Tom Cruise to give him a digital camera so he can read the thing and then transmit it back to the van where Vig is in, and then he gives it back to her so that she can go and plant it back. But what happens is she plants it in the wrong pocket.
Puts it in his right jacket pocket.
He puts it in she puts it in the right jacket pocket, and he notices, which sets him off to so okay, she's working with those
she
guys.
Is a spy.
Boom.
Yeah.
I was paying attention.
Hell
I just
yeah.
hate this movie. It's stupid.
It's not stupid. It's good.
It's fun, but dumb.
Okay, it's fun, but dumb is how you should have said that.
You need to put a little more enthusiasm in your.
Your tone is all wrong. Am I right?
The other thing I got to complain about this movie, like the first movie did masks very interesting and fun, and I enjoyed that. They went way overboard with the masks in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like everybody had everybody else's face just like waiting on standby.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I need to infiltrate this place and I need to look like him. Boom, got it. It's in my backpack. And he just throws it on. And like the movie never bothers to explain where these people are getting these masks
Technology.
from. It's
Well, the next movie does.
thank you, J.J. Abrams. That you never see.
Never thought I'd hear those
Never
words.
thought you'd hear those words. The next movie explains where the masks come from, but this movie just completely glosses it over.
I feel like the next movie is even more ridiculous with the masks.
Well, here's the thing, though. So, like, Dougray Scott's character has a mask of Tom Cruise because he's impersonated Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tom Cruise takes that mask that Dougray Scott used and puts it on the henchman guy to pretend that. Now, the question is, where did he get the mask to pretend to be the henchman from?
And also, when you rip it off, is it more than one wear per mask? Because they're not really treating the masks with care.
I think they are reusable.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
disagree.
Yeah.
You're asking too many questions.
I
about
agree.
the masks.
This is
Don't
basic
ask questions.
This is basic ass shit, dude.
Hey, remember when that door blows up and Tom Cruise walks by in slow motion as a dove flies through the door?
It's amazing.
I got a hard on for that one. That was pretty freaking good. It's just like the bad guy's looking through it. He's like, "What just happened?" You see Tom Cruise as the flames go by and a dove flies in.
Are we moving on to the doves?
Yeah,
Oh, I
sure.
love the doves.
Doves are amazing.
Doves.
Well, that's a John Woo thing.
There's
Yes.
only one
Yeah,
dove
but-
in the movie.
Well, there's pigeons and doves.
Whatever.
Stop ruining
That's
it.
one white dove. you know, I love it. It was great.
It was great.
It was slow motion.
I love. And dude, okay,
the screen is
that
just like,
that
oh,
that
man.
is
John Woo loves birds.
Oh, yeah.
the assault on the bunker.
Mhm.
Perfection.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
That ridiculous somersault he does to kick the guy in the gut out in the middle of nowhere just for no reason.
The backflip.
The backflip. Yeah, he just runs up, he punches the guy, knocks him down. He's trying to knock him out without
Yeah.
alerting the other
He
guards.
needed the trajectory of the
And
flip.
he just does a flip and then lays his leg onto the guy's gut
Yeah.
to finish him off.
Sure.
And the guy is so mesmerized, he just stands there and takes it.
In slow motion. Perfect. Fuck it.
That's incredible. Master filmmaking.
Great.
Remember that part where Dougray Scott and Tom Cruise are kind of like heading towards each other on motorcycles, and then they both jump off at the same time and collide in midair as their
And kiss?
motorcycles
You know what
blow up.
You know what I really want to talk about the motorcycles with? Because I know
The way he does the whole thing on his front wheel.
No, that's that's an endo. You can do
Yeah.
that. Those are real. I can imagine the conversation somebody had with John Woo, and there was probably some kind of a language barrier here. But John Woo was like, "Hey, I want to have motorcycles, and we're going to go from racing on the street. We're going to have a good street race, and then we're going to go off road, and we're going to go into the dirt, and then we're going to end up on the beach." And somebody was like, "John."
And John was like, off-road, yes.
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 And
up
I'm
there,
like,
up there.
He's like, John, we cannot go on road and off road with the same bikes because you will not be able to maneuver with street tires on dirt. And he's like, so just change the tires.
Yeah.
They're like, well, people are going to notice that. No,
Did they
they're
do
not.
that?
Yes.
Did they do that?
Dude,
Oh, that's
you can
incredible.
literally see the street. They're racing the motorcycles, going around the street and cutting around corners and doing all kinds of cool ass shit. And they have the like GoPro camera on the back where
Yeah.
you can see the tires. It's a street tire.
You know what?
And then the second they get into dirt, he stops and there's like these giant knobby ass tires on this motorcycle. And they're like, whoa, going like
here's the
dirt
thing.
biking.
That makes me like this movie even more.
Yeah, that motorcycle had
That's
a face-off technology too.
They just changed tires like midway through the scene.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Hell yeah, dude.
It's so stupid.
It's so I love it. I love
nice
it.
reference.
I also want to know why the Chimera disease when they go to the big tower and they're like, he's going to do some. I love that he knew what Tom Cruise was going to do before he did it because
Yeah.
he knows his personality. He's like,
Yeah.
he's not going to hurt anybody.
It's his
He's gonna-
job to impersonate him.
Yeah.
Also, like the weird thing is they dropped Tandy Newton off in like a crowded city in Australia because they want her to like, spread the
Spread the
virus.
disease.
But then like the next time we see her, she's on like a cliffside contemplating killing herself to prevent Chimera from getting
Well, she
out there.
just took a taxi.
Yeah.
Well,
She took an
So
Uber.
that
Okay.
taxi driver's
Listen.
definitely
All right.
dead.
we all have a special relationship with transmittable diseases lately because of the freaking pandemic. And I'm sitting there and they're like, yes, we're going to drop her off into a populated area. And I'm like, you've been around her this whole fucking time.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Yeah.
Like, she's not transmitting it to you. What makes you think she's going to transmit it to
I
anybody
want you
else?
to piss your way through the city.
Well, the doctor who infected himself at the beginning of the movie, he gets onto an airplane.
Yeah.
And like everyone's fine.
Yeah.
So like it's not a highly transmissible virus.
No, like their whole plan is ridiculous. It makes no sense. And then like when Tom Cruise goes to the big tower and he wants to destroy the virus, like I love how conveniently the destruction of the virus happens. He goes in, he's like, oh yeah, I need to go destroy the incubation chambers. And each individual incubation chamber has its own like death laser that sits right above it. So he can just push a button and
Listen,
it like,
man.
Death laser. You said death laser, and your tone is all fucking wrong. You don't appreciate the phrase death laser at all, and I'm upset and I'm offended.
Yes, you need to appreciate death lasers more. But here's the thing: during that scene when Cruise was in the bunker and he killed the viruses, and he's sitting there with his two guns.
yes. Oh, the spin moves are epic in this movie.
John Woo and his two guns is fucking epic.
Yeah.
But I just felt like he was just channeling his character. It was such a great acting moment when he was sitting there, pinned down behind the thing with his two guns.
Yeah.
And he just the emotion that he was exuding off of his face, that you could feel his frustration coming through the scene, coming through the television screen. It's just incredible. He should have got an Oscar.
Can we talk
He should
about
have got an Oscar.
Can we talk about the stupidity of the bad guy for sending his like obviously not trusting girlfriend to go pick up the virus gun?
You never trust the girlfriend.
And he's like,
Two things.
go pick it up and bring it to me. And the whole time she's doing this, I'm like, she's going to inject herself. Like, do you not think she's just
Well,
going to
of course.
inject herself? Why would you why would you send her to go get that thing? She's just going to do that.
You know what's kind of funny is like, so you guys complained about how the first movie didn't have any action in it. And with this movie, it feels like Tom Cruise and his producing partner were like, let's go in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah.
Let's make this as dumb as possible.
You know what?
And make it filled with action as opposed to the first movie, which was very cerebral and had almost no action in it.
And he even slowed it down for all of us dummies.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. It works.
Yeah, no, it doesn't,
works.
because it's stupid.
It does work.
They
It absolutely works.
You know, the worst part of this movie is the soundtrack. It felt like all the music in this movie was off
also
of
in slow mo.
it felt like they just pulled it off those royalty free generic.
They redid the
score
Mission
scenes.
Impossible theme as well, right?
Yeah,
they made it like hardcore,
The
like
metal,
yeah,
metal too.
They went metal with
Great.
it.
I loved it.
Well, actually, Metallica. This was the first movie that they ever did an original song
Yeah.
for.
Yes. Yeah.
This has a Metallica song in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Wow,
at the end credits.
I didn't know that. So I'm sorry, I got a whole list of things that are wrong with this movie.
Oh my god.
And they're all wrong.
So
There's some Limp Bizkit in
at the
them
end of that
thing
fight
too.
scene, at the end of that fight scene in the tower when they're all shooting each other, like everybody's like they killed the guards walking in, like oh we're gonna kill all the guards that way we can walk in and go to whatever floor we want. Nobody's gonna stop us. But then they're shooting and everybody's blowing things up. But it wasn't until Ethan Hunt like blew out the side of the wall that somehow set off an alarm where like a SWAT team came out of nowhere and like stormed up the stairwell and went to their floor and started shooting at the bad guys and gave Ethan enough time to escape. And then we just cut and the bad guys are like, well, I guess we're going to leave then. Like, what happened to the SWAT team that just came up the staircase and tried to kill you?
Here's don't care.
Excellent point.
How did they get out of the building?
Doesn't matter.
Oh my God.
Another great point from Vader.
John Woo movie. Deal.
I'm like, where's
Vader
the
is
other?
winning this
Like,
argument.
where's the other 30 minutes of this movie?
Doesn't matter.
I want to see that.
You know, John Woo might have filmed all this stuff, but Tom Cruise cut it out.
That's what
That's
I'm
right.
saying. I want to see the other half of this movie.
I would watch the John Woo
It's
cut.
missing
I
chunks.
do want to see it, but I don't care.
It's literally the Snyder cut before the Snyder cut was ever.
Yeah, it's the Joss Whedon-
3.5 hour movie.
It's the Joss Whedon version of this movie is what we're watching right now.
Release the woo cut.
This movie's ridiculous and stupid. I love the
It's
John
good. It's
Woo-isms though.
Yeah.
Like when he like zooms in on people's eyes when they're like important or something happens and they're like, oh no. And,
And then
it's
the
like,
dove flies
And then
by.
the dove flies
in
by.
slow
Doves are
Slow
amazing.
motion.
he does 2 slow motion somersaults in this movie, which are both incredible.
Awesome.
Great. The motorcycle fight scene was just ridiculous. Oh, did you guys know that scene at the end where they're on the beach and the guy tries to stab Ethan Hunt in the face with a knife and the knife stops like right in front of his eyeball? That shit was real.
Yeah, dude.
They
Fucking
put
Tom
that they
Cruise.
put that knife on a wire. And they said, okay, now jump at him and try and stab him in the face. And the only thing that stopped that from happening was the wire. I was like,
And it was Tom Cruise's idea.
I was like, holy-
he's like, I want that thing right by my eye.
what the fuck is wrong with him?
Tom Cruise was like, Scientology will protect me.
I couldn't have, like, when I found that out, it's like, are you crazy?
He's a little crazy.
Well, that was another thing where like John Woo was like, we can just like CGI in the blade, and Tom Cruise is like, no,
It needs to be a real
needs
blade.
to be a real blade. Like
Yeah.
people need to see
No
that.
wonder everything was behind schedule.
How many?
'Cause Tom Cruise was like, we have to do that for real.
Yeah.
And they were like, we can just do it. No.
No.
We have to do it for real. Put it on a wire.
I like Tom Cruise so much more now. It is unbelievable. He's crazy. He's absolutely crazy, and I kind of like it. I don't know why. I don't know. I just
Still don't want to hang out with him.
no.
but
He's kind of a douche.
Literally any movie, I'll watch.
How many drop kicks do you think were at the end of this movie?
I don't know.
7.
7.
7 slow motion drop kicks.
That's amazing.
He drop kicked that bad guy 7 times.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I love the kicking,
job, Tom
the
Cruise.
kicking of the gun.
You know
out
that
of
you're
the sand.
counting these kind of things means you're being a little obsessive.
You
about
don't know how to enjoy
This movie
things.
is so
You
bad.
should enjoy things.
Let's see. It's like a bunch of slow motion and
Yeah,
style over substance.
Yes.
It's almost like there's this other director that does this these days
like
that
you don't-
drives Kadish
It's like
crazy.
you don't even know
Don't
me.
you fucking say
A
it, Alex.
slow motion director with a style over substance narrative makes movies that drive Kadish crazy that you guys all love.
You know what? If I was a movie director, these are the kind of movies I would make. I'm not even joking.
Zack Snyder. This is a Zack Snyder movie.
Oh my God.
It really kind of is.
You had to say it.
I did.
I want to see him collaborate
I
with
had
John
to say
Woo.
it. I had to say it because I know Kadish loves John Woo, and I'm like, but this movie seems like a Zack Snyder movie.
Zack Snyder and John Woo get together, collaborate, and they make a
That would be-
new universe filled with kung fu fighting superheroes.
It's called Sucker Punch.
So
Doves who fight each other
that
in
would be
slow motion.
awesome. I
So
would so watch the shit out
John
of
Woo
that.
is not a native English speaker. What's Zack Snyder's excuse for making like terrible movies?
He has good taste and likes to make cool things.
See, I respect John Woo because like, you know, his Hong Kong films are all like brilliant.
Right.
And some of his American films were good. You know, in this situation, they hired John Woo, and when they got a John Woo movie, they didn't want a John Woo movie. And so
Right.
like they took it away from him and made it into something else.
Well, why would you hire John Woo if you don't want a John Woo movie? That's
and,
silly.
And you know what's crazy is like all three of these Mission Impossible movies, they all have very different directors to them with all very different styles. And originally, Tom Cruise wanted it to have like a different like feel like with each movie, but by the time the third movie came around, they were like, yeah, you know, we should probably settle in on a certain type of style on this thing.
I love how different all three of these are.
Yes.
And that's the power of directors, where like, you know, when you have like very unique auteurs directing movies, they have like their own kind of like cinematic language, and they bring a unique look and style to the film. And you know, it was both interesting and also wrong in ways. Like it would have been nice if there had been like some continuity between the movies, but
I
there just
disagree.
wasn't.
We have continuity. We have Ving Rhames.
That's true.
Listen, are we going to start
Yeah.
rolling this up? You want me to score?
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. I really did. But my enthusiasm for this movie through this thing, it's been partly sarcasm, but mostly not. I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. I did. Just like I said at the beginning, I had fun the entire time. I'm going to give this movie a 4.
Fuck out.
And if you don't like it, you can kiss my ass, because I had an absolute blast watching this movie. I could watch this movie again right now without any hesitation or problem. And I don't really care if you don't like my score or not.
That's fine.
It's a super fun movie, and I loved it. It was fun.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, I know.
Jude.
If I were on the prowl for getting a guy all horned up, this is what I would
Hell
play
yeah.
on my date night. 4 stars.
Boom.
Yeah.
Another 4-star movie.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
You hit
4
that,
cliff hangs out of
that was
5.
really hard. You did another hard.
I hit it just right though. It like your knuckle went in between my knuckles,
okay,
and it
that
was
was
like
pretty cool.
perfect.
Right. We need a fist bump cam.
Yeah.
Kadish, what's your rating for this?
So this is a very confusing movie for me because there are elements
Sexually?
to it that I like. I love John Woo. I love Tom Cruise. I like Tandy Newton in this. The action in this movie is great. The music is terrible. The story doesn't make any freaking sense. It's a bad movie, but it's got so many good elements to it. It's hard to justify the good parts with the bad parts or reconcile them. So I got to go with 2 stars on this one. This is not
bullshit.
this is not a good movie, but like it's not a 1-star movie. I can't give it 3 stars because it's not enjoyable. Like the entire time I was watching this movie, I was like, this is painful. This is painful because I want to like it so bad, but it's not a good movie.
I love it when we have
I have a
wide
question.
scores like this.
Were you on a plane when you watched this and physically in pain because you hate traveling?
No, I was in a hotel room when I watched this.
I'm with Kadish. This is a 2-star movie. This is terrible.
You guys
It's
are
stupid.
insane.
The storyline is ridiculous and dumb, and it doesn't make any sense. The bad guys are just stupid.
All of that was said in the wrong tone.
And the fight scenes are amazing. I love watching the fight scenes. They're so slow-mo and ridiculous and just over the top, like music video style fight scenes.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that. Anthony Hopkins delivers the most fantastic. Anthony Hopkins delivers the most phenomenal freaking line in any movie ever. I got to give it points for that. But yeah, this is a 2-star movie. It's ridiculous and stupid and fun.
And you're wrong.
You're allowed to have an opinion.
So are you.
That is wrong.
All right, the table is split. Who are you on the side of? Comment below. Is this a 4-star movie or is this a 2-star movie? Let us know in the
It's fine
comments.
that you have a wrong opinion.
I know.
Sure.
It's really
Yeah,
weird.
you too.